Today I thought I'd talk about, since we're on a kick of pricing, when it's time for you to increase your pricing. So if you've been following along, you can watch the Pricing Wars episode up here. And then after that, if you've seen that one, you can watch the pricing good, better, best video that I did on yesterday's episode. So today, let's talk about when should you increase your pricing? When is it a good time for that to take place? I think that's a very valid question. I think that there's a lot of times that we get stuck in trying to figure out when's the best time to do that. Is there a best time to do that? When does it make sense? So let's go through a couple scenarios here. If it's an inventory based issue, when price increases happen, that's when you can, raise your prices. And the thing is if you raise your price just like 1 or 2%, when the price increase comes down the pike from your manufacturer or your vendor, that's when you can ultimately get, an extra point or two right there. Now, you have to keep in mind that sometimes it's very, very small changes that can have super big effects. And a good example of that I was giving to one of my clients the other day was, like, look, if you have something and it costs, right now you're charging $2 for it. If you charge, like say $2.10, like $2.10, so you raise it just 10 cents, which is a value that most people wouldn't even bat an eye at, you will most likely not have a problem with doing that unless that's what you're competing on. You have to know what you're competing on with your competitors. So if it's something that you're not worried about competing on, like if you go back to the Cups Mean Business video, the thing is if people are price conscious on that, then it's going to make a difference. But if you raise your price just a little bit and you say you sell 100 more, like you sell 100 of these $2 things every single day and you're getting an extra 10 cents per, that adds up very, very quickly. I don't have to do all the math for you to figure that out. But, if you're doing that 7 days a week, all of a sudden that has an exponential. In fact, my homework for you is to go, not only just smash that like button if you are down for learning more about when to increase your prices, but also if you are down for raising, and adjusting your prices so you can make a big impact in your business with just a small little change. So, point being is, when should I raise my prices if I'm a service business? Well, there's a lot of different ways to look at it, right? So if you look at it from a time perspective, if your service is relying on you and you alone to have the time to work with, say, any client, then you need to figure out what your starting price is, number one. Then number two, where you want to head from there. How do you figure out how much to go up from there? Well, it's not an easy thing to figure out, but you can figure it out quite, a lot easier if you just start, right? So it's like, okay, if I'm charging $200 an hour, and if you go back to the good, better, best video, which was linked up here. I don't know if I can link it twice in one video, but if you go back to that video and you create something like, okay, so it's not just $200, it's $200, $300, or $500, right? If you were just charging $200 before, now you're charging $200 on the base, $300 for the standard, and that's the one that you're hoping people will go for. And every once in a while, you'll probably get to close a $500 one. On the next, experiment with it. So on the next client, don't be like, oh, it's $200, $300, or $500. It's $225, $325, or $500, or $525 if you want to keep it. It depends how you want to do it. But you'll only know that, if people are willing to pay that. But the difference that $25 can make if you have just 4 clients extra per month is an extra $100. and then you times that by 12, right? So now you're talking an extra $1,200 a year just because you went up $25, nobody noticed, and then you validate yourself as far as like, okay, great, so I'm worth at least $225. Well, we've gotten that for a little while. We filled the pipeline up. So how do I make more money once I filled up the pipeline and my time is totally maxed out as far as what I'm able to output? Well, you raise your price again. Do $250 or $275 and raise the price again, and then see where people balk at it. You know, but a lot of that comes down to how many opportunities, how many potential clients you have coming through the door. So you need to be able to figure that out for what your business looks like. So again, if you like what I'm doing, if you like raising your prices, if you like the fact that I'm talking about all the different pieces to raising your prices, smash that like button. And the other thing is, tomorrow I will be talking about a piece of my equipment in the episode. I'm not sure, like my video equipment, my studio equipment. So if you'd like to see more of that, make sure you tune in.